I woke up and I was planning what I was going to do. We were supposed to go on Ice Watch with a bunch of local organizers. And I think those plans are currently falling apart. The situation got more chaotic here this morning, not realizing that there would be an unlawful state-sanctioned murder one more time. Numerous angles have come out. Obviously, we're going to start with the federal agent involved shooting in Minneapolis right now. Details are still coming out. It's a breaking story, but I was following it closely with a bunch of people, a bunch of activists on the ground. Word of mouth spreads pretty fast around these parts, but outside of that, I was talking to a bunch of journalists as well, and it does feel like it's just a straight up state-sponsored execution. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It's just that is what it is, because it seems like he was an observer. We'll be looking into the background, because the state, after assassinating this man, another 37-year-old, by the way, 37-year-old American citizen, according to law enforcement, that came out earlier this morning outside of Glam Donuts. And this is Omar's take on it. He released a statement. He said, "ICE murdered another person in my district this morning. This was a flat-out execution, horrific and absolutely in the hands of these untrained, untamed agents. Every single one must be held accountable for their actions. We can no longer allow them to continue on their spree." It is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. I know we have all the live streams and stuff. I'm just I'm gonna get into the live streams, but I want to see I want to see a brief summarization of events that took place. But things are getting pretty heated out here. Like I'm in downtown Minneapolis currently, and it's I've been hearing cop cars all morning. It does seem like police have been called back. Off-duty cops have been called back into duty, and they're gearing up with riot patrol. They're gearing up with riot gear right now at the Minneapolis Police Department. Here it is.
With breaking news, U.S. media are reporting that one person has died after being shot by federal agents in Minneapolis. The Department of Homeland Security said the situation was evolving, but claimed that the man who was killed had a firearm and 2 magazines. The incident comes less than 3 weeks after the fatal shooting of Rene Good, which has already sparked protests across the city. Thousands of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents have since been deployed to the Democratic-led city as Republican President Donald Trump intensifies his nationwide campaign to deport immigrants.
Yeah, so the mainstream media's narrative is repeating the Department of Homeland Security narrative, which, by the way, at this point is the least reliable order of events. I'll just start there. Basically, this morning, I get a text message from some of the local organizers that another shooting has taken place. We dig into it. We find a Facebook video from the incident from Glam Donuts across the street from where this person was shot. A bystander video shows several agents wrestled with a man on a city sidewalk in southern Minneapolis moments before the shooting. And Police Chief Brian O'Hara has issued a plea for calm as protesters gathered at the scene. Please do not destroy our city. He also actually told the federal agents to follow the laws. But basically what took place is, and I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to show you the footage. I'm going to give you a trigger warning ahead of time, because it's pretty awful. You can't really see any of the blood or anything like that, but and therefore I think it's like I can show it without hitting a terms of service violation here. But it's a really gruesome image. The victim, as far as we know, there's not a lot of details on it, but the victim, as far as we know, is a 37-year-old American citizen. And basically, the claim is that the Department of Homeland Security's claim is that this person was actually, trying to violently attack them or something. And it's not the case. And this is the first video that came out this morning. He was a lawful gun owner. He wasn't doing anything wrong in the situation as far as we can see. And he was also a 37-year-old. You see a guy pull the trigger on the gun? Wait, what? Are you talking about the ICE agents? Yeah. Here. So we'll start here at the incident.
Watch, man, and they keep pushing people,
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ICE agents that are surrounding this suspect, this victim. Okay, so he is, I think he was 51, not 37. I thought they said he was 37 years old. but I might be wrong. I think initially I heard he was 51, but then they reported that he was 37. Same age as Renee Good. So Jacob Fry said he was 37 years old. I think the initial report said he was 51, but anyway, he's surrounded by 8 agents here, and there are people filming the incident from across the street. There's a lady here also that is filming the incident directly. And according to The Intercept, the victim was, according to an eyewitness that told The Intercept, that the victim of this morning's fatal shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis appeared to be one of the several legal observers who mobilized this morning outside of a donut shop. The witness said he hid in a doorway with others, fearing being shot as well. Is it weird to think you're in the same city as this guy shot? No, it's also like right down the street. Like, I'm not super far away from this incident. Like, this is actually one of those things that, like, this is the difference between like being far away in Los Angeles when covering the news and then being like directly where the where the things are happening, right? Where you have a very different experience with it, and obviously I can never understand what it's like for like regular Minneapolis people to exist under this like insane military occupation from the federal government. But no, I didn't hear the gunshots. It's not that close. But my point is, like, when you're here, you're like, okay, like, what if you went out there? You know what I mean? What if you went out there and you were just getting donuts? Like, you could have just as easily, like, you start thinking, okay, well, anywhere where there are ICE agents is a threat. Okay? It's very different when, it's very different when you can visualize it, when you can see it directly happening. In any case, what ends up taking place here is as they are pummeling him to the ground, and you will see in a second in this video, they basically take him down to the ground, and they've surrounded him. There's at least, like, as far as I can see, like 5 agents that have their hands on him. They're apprehending him in the most violent way possible. Okay? And then you will hear gunshots being fired. As soon as the commotion advances here, there's another ICE agent as well. The one with the gray jacket is the one to pay attention to here. So they start pistol whipping the victim. One of the ICE agents starts pistol whipping the victim. This ICE agent back there draws his service weapon. Okay? And the one with the gray jacket, as you can tell from over here, actually pulls out a gun. Now, it seems like the one with the gray jacket is actually pulling out it looks as though he's pulling out the victim's the victim's weapon potentially. But then the first shot gets fired, and then I won't show you the rest of this here.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Multiple shots are fired, and then another ICE agent backs away right here, and you can see him. This is right after he's fired a shot. Numerous shots, as a matter of fact. The lady that filmed the video posted. I know there's another angle, but I don't think it's the woman on the pink. Oh, it looks like it could be. Okay, or maybe another person. I don't know who shot the first, who fired off the first shot, and obviously I'll take a look at the second angle off screen as well before I see if it's safe for stream as well. But this is basically the safe. For as safe as possible version of this angle. It's the first angle that came out. But if you watch this 39-second video in its full, in its entirety, you very quickly realize that this is just a straight up ISIS style, IDF style execution. It's completely unacceptable, and yet it's yet another day where ICE is behaving in this way. Okay, because he does not stop shooting. And I'm going to show you another still frame here because there's not a lot of gore or blood in it at all. But the victim at that point is definitely dead. He's laying lifeless on the ground. And that guy who backed away continues shooting at least 3 or 4 bullets into his lifeless body at that point.
Fucking kill that guy? Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
Not again. Are you kidding me? That guy's dead.
So that's the 39-second video that went viral all over the internet shortly after it happened. And then immediately, I would say like approximately 30 minutes after the video started spreading, the Department of Homeland Security came out and fed this information to their favorite Fox News correspondent, Bill Malugin, saying, Breaking news. DHS tells Fox News the suspect was armed with a gun, which has been recovered by federal agents. Now, very quickly, this was going to be the meta. One of the things that they also said, according to on-the-ground reporting, before we get to the second angle, guys, I have the second angle. I'm going to talk about the second angle. Just hold on for a moment, okay? Please, let me gather my thoughts here, okay? So basically, right as the incident was taking place, they very quickly secured the perimeter, and by that I mean they just took into detention every single person that was there, that was a witness that was filming. The Tribune reported on this. They said that ISIS transported several witnesses into detention, and they also refused local law enforcement from surrounding the scene as well, from what I understand, and ICE attempted to order local police from the scene, but the police chief O'Hara refused. Sources said O'Hara instructed his officers to preserve the scene. And it's very clear that just like with Jonathan Ross, the first thing that these guys do after another, unlawful state-sponsored execution is to basically cover their own tracks. Like they immediately are like, all the witnesses, we're picking them up, we're packing them up, we're shipping them off into a facility. We're going to see what they have. We're going to try to threaten them. God knows what, with God knows what, to claim that they also are like, a part of this process. Kurdish Hashti, please talk about the humanitarian crisis occurring. Chatter. I don't think I'm going to be able to have time to cover that today. I'm sorry. I'm literally like a couple blocks away from where another American citizen was assassinated by federal agents in broad daylight after a massive direct action took place yesterday. So it's going to be, time and place. Don't say shut up, chatter. I mean, it's a pretty consequential, pretty significant thing that's going on in Rojava. I just, time and place. Okay. Like this is pretty crazy. Okay. So, but as I was mentioning, this is taking place in an American city once again. An American city that has a history of like labor organizing, labor militancy, an American city that actually just had more than 50,000 people take to the streets yesterday and do a one-day general strike with labor unions that were involved, even though from what I understand, some might have even been a little reluctant initially to do a work stoppage at all. But the reason why they did it, the reason why they all did it is because the people are very frustrated. Everyone is sick and fucking tired of this bullshit, okay? Everyone is sick and tired of this nonsensical bullshit. And I do think that it was odd that there wasn't a lot of mainstream media coverage on this, but you guys saw I was there. It was an incredible moment of solidarity. Here is how many people, like briefly, you can make sense of like how vast, how large, how widely participated the yesterday's actions were. The reason why I'm starting here with this story is because instead of seeing people from all different walks of life, instead of seeing people from all different backgrounds, from all different places of business, different industries, Minneapolis, people of Minneapolis, people of Minnesota, that are frustrated with what this government is doing, what the federal government is doing, instead of looking at that and then responding with a de-escalation, it's very clear that ICE was on high alert and decided to behave in the exact same ways that they are, maybe even more violent than before. Here it is. Just so you understand how giant these crowds were. And you also have to remember, this was taking place in minus 20 degrees with wind chills. This was, this is the type of temperature, as you saw from my own personal reporting on the ground. This was the type of temperature where if you're outside, it was like literally 30 degrees warmer in the Arctic Circle, right? This is the type of temperature where if you're outside and you don't have like proper gear, or even if you do have proper gear, you can still get frostbite on your fingertips. Like I almost literally lost fingers. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up, get mad, stop being calm. Okay, you need to calm down. I'm a news broadcaster, okay? Like, shut the up, chatter, okay? I'm going to calmly describe to you the events that I partook in and also explain to you what's going on and what's next. Okay, please, Jesus Christ, I understand why everyone is angry. I myself am also very frustrated, very angry, but you know, like I can't. Like, this is my job. I need to be cool, calm, and collected to the best of my ability here. Anyway, so this is the other angle of the incident that took place, the assassination that took place. So like that came only a day after this massive demonstration took place in Minneapolis. Okay. AP reports that Officer Boohoo in response to angry protesters after a 51-year-old man was shot and killed by federal officers. So there's that as well. Anyway, let's take a look at the video that's 3 minutes long. That is not a safe angle to show, by the way, but leading up to the actual incident, this is going to be safe for the most part. So, you see a couple ICE agents getting out of their cars here. It looks like this is the lady in the pink that we saw from the different angle. And here is, I believe the person that we're seeing on our screen is the guy in the hat is the victim. Do not show, guys, I'm not going to show the actual moment of assassination. Okay. Can you calm down? Jesus Christ. So he does not have, he has a phone camera in his hand. He has a phone in his hand and he is, you know, the victim here, you can briefly see is getting in a, pulling out, is pulling away another legal observer. Okay. The victim here is pulling the victim in the brown jacket. Okay, is pulling away from an ICE agent who pushes another. These three people right here are all legal observers. Okay, as you can see, he has a bottle of water in their hands. The ICE agent right here pushes this woman who also is a legal observer with a bottle of water in her hands to the ground. And then the guy that they end up shooting is trying to pull away. Like, is trying to stop the ICE agent as he tries to stop the ICE agent as the ICE agent shoves this woman into the ground, into the ice. In the process, the ICE agent clearly tear gases or pepper sprays the victim. Okay. The victim has his hand up. He has his phone camera in his hand. The ICE agent continues to tear gas him directly into his face, pushes him away, starts tear gassing all of the other legal observers in the area. The legal observer is trying to do his very best to pull the other legal observer away from the tear gas, to pull them up. And as you can see here, this is I'm about to go full cam here and not show you the rest of it, because from this point on, they're entirely focused on him. Okay. And you can see in the commotion, they're surrounding him. Now, at no point does he actually pull out a gun, at least from this angle. And you can't really see it from the other angle, but at no point does he actually present himself as a significant threat. This victim, every step of the way, in the first 51 seconds that we can see, is actually trying to de-escalate, is actually trying to stop the ICE agents from tear gassing these other legal observers. Okay, the gun was confiscated by another agent prior to the shots being fired. Yeah, no, I think that's what ends up happening. I think he's a lawful, legal gun owner. Here's some more scenes before the shots are fired here. It's not very easy to make out, but okay, so up until this moment, up until minute 1, there isn't anything that takes place here, but I suspect this is right when the shot is going to get fired. Minute 1 in the video. I'm going to go full screen here. You can start seeing some of the cops surrounding him, reaching for their service weapons. For the record, not cops, sorry. One of the ICE pigs right here is pulling out his service weapon. There's a bunch of others that are also pulling out their service weapons. But there's approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total ICE agents surrounding him, while you know, the legal observers are trying to get out of the way as the victim is on the ground. He's not only surrounded, but they're violently and physically trying to apprehend him in a pile. And then the first shot is fired, and the commotion takes an entirely different life of its own from that point on. And you can see in the videos, I mean, this is a direct, from this angle, it's even more heinous. You can see it's a direct shot fired, almost like yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. First shot, and then the second and third shot, and you can see him, like, his lifeless body flinging into the ground, where they just pull back, but almost making like contact with the barrel of the gun on this person's head and shoot them in a straight up execution. And as his lifeless body hits the ground, they continue shooting. And then, last but not least, as all of the ICE agents around this victim have dispersed and pulled away from the lifeless body of the victim on the ground, as you can hear, that one last ICE agent gets off 4 additional shots. And he continues. No, actually, that was 3. And then shot 4 and 5 is fired as he backs away. They literally back away from him. Like, they take 3 or 4 steps away from him and just open fire. This is irredeemable. This is indefensible. This is cold-blooded, state-sanctioned murder. Okay? No interest or investment in de-escalation. They immediately surround the perimeter and they start screaming obscenities and screaming commands at all of the horrified onlookers. I believe it was 10 or 11 gunshots in total that they struck him with. For those of you who are wondering where I found this angle of the video, Dropsite News has the second angle from the lady in the pink shirt. Shots fired after police in Minneapolis struggled to subdue man brandishing gun amid protest. Video shows. New York Post is a bunch of heinous right-wing hacks, charlatans, propagandists. They're basically neo-Nazi style newspaper at this point. They are literally the Der Stürmer of the American Fourth Reich, for the record. I cannot believe that they said that. Every aspect of their coverage is incorrect. Not only is this not police, but ICE, but also the man was not brandishing a gun. That's not correct at all. At no point is the man that was shot and killed brandishing a weapon. Okay? There's also a third angle that I'm going to be covering as well, which is like which features you know, all the things that led up to the shooting. But basically, I mean, there is no defense of what they're doing. At 55, you can see they find and throw the gun. He actually gets up and they keep shooting. Yeah, I haven't been able to get into exact details yet. This is my first time seeing the second angle, but.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! The did you just do? The did you just?
At that point, there's one agent that goes. At that point, there's one agent that walks up and starts administering CPR. But unfortunately, the victim passed away. The Department of Homeland Security's statement in the immediate aftermath of the incident at 9:30 a.m. Minneapolis time, I believe, right? Or no, not 9:30 a.m. Minneapolis time. I think my computer is California time, so well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, at 9:05 a.m. CT, as DHS law enforcement officers are conducting a target operation in Minneapolis against illegal alien wanted for violent assault, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with 9mm semi-automatic handguns seen here. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject and was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, I don't know if this gun is the actual gun that they took off of him. I don't know why they would also lie and act as though, you know, there's a different gun involved here. I know some people are saying that it's a lie. This is not the real gun. It's so insane that obviously it's virtually impossible to trust law enforcement at this point, especially federal law enforcement at this point. It's just like there's no, like, I'm sorry. it's virtually impossible for me to trust federal law enforcement, specifically ICE, specifically the Department of Homeland Security, because they just lie so maliciously and so frequently, and they lie about things that we can see, that we can actually observe with our own two eyes. It's absolutely insane. And of course, this is a complete collapse. This is a complete collapse of the social fabric that holds society together once again, because when you have these people that are supposed to be defending us, these people that are supposed to be protecting us in theory, behave so belligerently, behave so violently, and then all of the mechanisms of justice that are supposed to do the right thing and you know, prosecute the agent, the rogue agent that they, under different circumstances, would treat as though this rogue element is simply a bad apple, are not even doing that any longer. They're actually straight up saying that this was lawful, that this was good, that the victim was a terrorist, just like they did with Renee Good. Okay? I have my suspicions that there will still be right-wingers that defend this, but you know, it's completely indefensible. Just so we're clear, this was the victim's position when the first shot was fired, on his knees, shirt pulled up over his arms, surrounded by 7 ICE agents. And yesterday I was talking to some of the activists on the ground, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do, right? We were trying to figure out what kind of action I could, like what kind of direct action and mobilization I could potentially film and live stream. And one of the things that they were stressing to me was like, listen, we will try to keep you as safe as possible, but just understand that if you have a camera and you're out there, even if you have a press badge, even if you have a press jacket, they're gonna come after you, and they're gonna try to break your camera, and they will tear gas you directly. They will pepper spray you directly in your face. And just, this is like how regular people of Minneapolis approach this situation, where they're just like, these are rogue elements of the state that are engaging in a violent, militant occupation of their neighborhoods. Okay? And as we've seen over and over again, there's nothing stopping them from assassinating people in cold blood, especially as the administration has shown time and time again their interest in defending these people and saying, no, they were actually in the right. They were totally in the right, even though very clearly they're in the wrong over and over again. And there is a decent percentage of people in this country, at least 20% of the people in this country, that will still defend this kind of altercation, defend this kind of incident, defend this kind of lawlessness. Okay? It's incredible to me. I mean, there are people in this chat right now that are coming in to make statements about how this person also deserved it. You know, the body hasn't even been laid to rest. And there are still people that are trying to find a way to make this seem normal. Hasan, you are on the wrong side. Both sides aren't great, but you and your followers are on the wrong side, this guy says. Both sides aren't great, but you and your followers are on the wrong side. Brother, if a state can lawlessly execute American citizens in broad daylight and you consider that to be right, I don't want to be right, okay? You and I have a very different value system. You and I have a very, very different value system. You and I might be different organisms at this point. If you still look at a situation like this and say, nah, it's totally worthwhile. This is totally worthy. Are you kidding me? You are not even a human being. You are barely sentient. You might be cattle. And yeah, here it is on Instagram. Minneapolis journalist and anchor Jana Shortle of CARE 11, clearly wearing press credentials, says she was pepper sprayed and punched in the eye by federal agents while trying to capture the aftermath of today's fatal shooting. So they're going after every single person. They are going after everyone with an agenda. Basically, they're behaving like a bunch of they are behaving like a rogue agency. Well, not a rogue agency, but they're basically behaving like a rogue agency, but a rogue agency that's behaving or behaving violently and belligerently at the behest of the state. So the state is actually deploying this belligerent agency to go kill people. It's crazy. This is an American city. This is a beautiful American city, Minneapolis, Minnesota, that is basically like a war zone right now because the American government has decided to deploy, a federal agency to go and hunt people and kill them. That's where we're at right now. And if you can't wake the fuck up to that reality, if you think that, like, you know, internet drama or your favorite content creator did this, I don't really like this person, I don't really like that person. If you can't unite on this issue, I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to make it. Okay? You're not going to make it. How many more people need to suffer until people come to that recognition that this is completely unsustainable? Like, what the are we doing? Anyway, I'm continuing with the Department of Homeland Security's statement now. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on scene immediately delivered medical aid. The suspect also had 2 magazines and no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. That's bullshit. If he wanted to do that, he would have actually came out brandishing and started shooting at people. Okay? An American citizen does not need to walk around with identification. An American citizen does not need to tell members of ICE or show members of ICE his papers. ICE has no jurisdiction over American citizens. Customs and Border Patrol has jurisdiction over American citizens only at the point of entry into the nation state. Okay? This is insane. And so much of this conversation is driven by lies. And I cannot comprehend why people do not address these lies. Number one, ICE's duties are not to actually apprehend criminals, okay? ICE's job is to deal with paperwork violators. That is ICE's job, to deal with people who are engaging in a civil offense, whether they're cognizant of it or not, doesn't matter. They do not actually apprehend criminals, okay? They don't. The only criminals that they actually get their hands on are criminals that are charged and convicted after local law enforcement or federal law enforcement finds them guilty of wrongdoing or arrest them under the suspicion that they've done something wrong. Then they go through the courts and they go to the prisons after after justice has been served, and only then does ICE actually apprehend them. And they routinely will use those sometimes violent criminals who are undocumented as a reason, as an example of who they're actually stopping, okay? This is bullshit. These are people who are already serving out their sentences, okay? ICE does not stop any real criminals. So when you see the percentages when they go, oh, 80% of people that ICE deported this year actually did not have a criminal background at all, that's 100% of the people that they apprehend from the streets, from their workplaces, from right after their court hearings. Okay? The other 20% that have a criminal background are nabbed from prisons. Do you understand? ICE only grabs criminal migrants from prisons. Okay? ICE is not a regular law enforcement agency. And it's so crazy to me that people do not know this. This is a fundamental truth that so many people are oblivious to. And I think it's the reason why so many people that have this conversation behave the way that they do, because in their minds, they're like, well, you know, these are rugged criminals. Look, they grabbed the rapist off the street. It's like, no, they went to a prison after an undocumented migrant had done a rape and had been caught by the police, investigated, charged, convicted in a court of law, and was serving out their prison sentence. And then ICE went in, grabbed him from the prison to deport him, just so they can make a show of force, just so they can claim that every single undocumented migrant is a rapist criminal. Okay? That's fact number one. Fact number two, undocumented migrants are responsible for a far lower share of crime per capita than documented U.S. citizens are. Far lower, especially if you tie in documented migrants on top of that. The numbers are negligible. They're utterly irrelevant at that point. It's like 29 murders or 29 violent crimes per year, something along those lines. It's like ridiculous. Okay? It's all propaganda.